everyone. So today we are making a recipe, and sorry I don't have a cover, out of the Taste of Home December, January 1998 magazine. And this one's going to be a little bit interesting. This is beef tips on rice, and it's when the gang's all here. So I have scaled this down to feed our family of 5. So I'm showing you all the ingredients that it originally called for, and then I will let you know how much I'm adding. I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees, and it's asking for me to mix my beef, salt, pepper, and thyme. So the original recipe calls for 20 pounds of beef stew meat cut into 1-inch cubes. So I've got about 1.5 pounds in here, maybe closer to 2 pounds, and you can see it's not perfect. And then let me find my seasonings. Here they are. I've got 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle it in here. And then I should have gotten a bigger bowl, so I'm just going to go ahead and dump it in there and mix it. So what it wants me to do is put this in the oven uncovered and bake it for 15 minutes. So we're going to put it in there for 15 minutes, and then we're going to add our other ingredients. Alright, now we're going to make, I guess, the little gravy or sauce that goes over it. And the original recipe called for 15 cans of condensed cream of mushroom soup. So I'm going to use 2 of them. And then it calls for, the original recipe called for 4 cups of water. So I guess we'll use like 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of water. And then we're going to mix in 1 just chopped onion. And I was lucky enough to get Vidalia. So let's get this mixed up. So an onion peel on my onion. I was trying to remove that. I don't want to eat that. Now if this is too saucy, which I don't think it will be, it'll be fine because it's going to be served over rice. So let's add in, this is 1/4 cup of water. So let me mix it and then see if that's enough. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and add in another 1/4 cup. You want to make sure, yeah, because that looks really thick. So let me get another 1/4 cup. I ended up adding 1/2 cup more instead of just 1/4 cup, and it's a really good consistency. So I'm going to go ahead, and it says to combine the onion. So let me add the onion. And it's also asking for 2/3 cup of chopped fresh parsley. So since I'm cutting this down from serving, how many does this serve? 75 to serving 5. If you wanted to use chopped fresh parsley, I'd probably use just like a few teaspoons or tablespoons. And then it's asking for browning sauce, but it said that that is optional. So I don't have any browning sauce, so we're not going to use it. Alright, it's been 15 minutes, so I'm going to pour this mixture on top. Let's see, does it say to mix? Pour over beef, yeah, and mix well. Then we're going to mix it and cover it. And the original recipe calls for baking it for 1.5 to 2 hours, or until the beef is tender. Because we don't have as much in here, I'm going to start checking it around the 30-minute mark. And it did say, I don't remember if I told you, but it did say to drain the juices off from this. I drained it about 3/4 of the way down because I think the beef juices do add some good flavor. So that looks really pretty and tasty. So let's cover it with some tin foil. Try not to get burned. This is still hot. And then we'll pop it in and check on it in 30 minutes. Alright, I've just pulled it out of the oven. And I think that I could have gotten away with just using 1 can of soup. But, I mean, this is going to be served over rice. So I'm going to let it cool down a little bit and give it a taste test. And I forgot to tell you guys, before you put it in the oven and bake it, lower your temperature to 350 degrees. Alright, my rice isn't ready yet, but I've got a piece of the beef and a little bit of the broth here. So I'm going to give it a try. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth. Oh, this has a good flavor. I'm actually honestly surprised. Oh, this is delicious, and it's going to be even better over rice. I think next time that I make it, I may add like a little bit of garlic to it, either minced or garlic powder, but this is a keeper. Very much worth the try.